there's plenty of examples of people who've shown, like mathematical proofs among other things, that morality is not tied strictly to God. It is possible to form a basis of moral absolutes without God.
No. It's impossible for a moral absolute to exist if there is no mind prior to the human mind. How do you mathematically prove a moral absolute?
You just assign a mathematical rule that effectively measures your impact on someone else instead of threshold.
Yeah.
So murder is taking away someone's entire existence, and so it's never okay for you to murder.
Baloney. I've got a wife and 3 boys. If I want his money in order to benefit my wife and 3 boys, in order to get his money, I need to murder him. That is my choice, and I'm not wrong.
That's a straw man, because no, you don't have to murder him to get his money. But B, you're entirely taking away his existence for a marginal benefit to the existence of you and 3 others. So that's obviously not moral. And I don't need God to tell me that.
If he's an accidental collection of atoms, then there's nothing wrong with squashing his life.
That's not what atheists say at all.
I'm not saying what atheists said. That's not the question you asked. You asked me, if there is no God, is it possible for there to be a moral absolute? And I'm asking you, I obviously said no. Now, you said you're wrong, Cliff. Fine. Please explain to me how you get a moral absolute without God.
You're the one preaching. Explain to me why it isn't.
It's very simple.
I'm not preaching. I'm asking the questions, not you.
Oh, I
it's
can
not
ask
fair
questions,
for,
can't I?
No, it's not fair for you to respond to my question with another question.
Oh, it's not fair.
That's a very, very well-established debate style that undermines the possibility of debate.
Oh, don't worry. I will answer your question. I already have begun to answer your question. But I totally disagree with you. It's totally legitimate for you to ask me questions. It's totally legitimate for me to ask you questions. Come on, guys. We're in a university here. We think, right? We think, hopefully?
Right, but it's not so much that you're asking me a question, more that you're asking me a question to avoid answering mine.
Oh, no, I don't avoid. I've been answering. I answered all day. All right. You ever hear the Nuremberg trials?
Yes.
1945 to 1949, right? The Nazi lawyers were brilliant. The Nazi lawyers stood up and said, these Nazi soldiers gassed Jews into Dachau and Auschwitz because their commanding officer ordered them to, because their culture taught them to. For you allies to come in here and to condemn these Nazi soldiers for gassing Jews is so intolerant, it's so arrogant, it's so culturally biased, it should be thrown out of court. And sir, the Nuremberg trials shut down. Until the American counsel, Robert Jackson, stood up and said, there is a law above the law. And according to the law above the law, gassing Jews in Dachau and Auschwitz is absolutely evil. The Nuremberg trials got back into gear, and those Nazi soldiers were convicted.
Okay.
Robert Jackson's plea for a law above the law is a statement. Ultimately, the law does not depend upon culture, people in power, or my own opinion. Because if it does, it's totally relative.
Right.
And we have no basis for saying, as Americans, the Nazis were wrong.
Okay.
The only way there can be a law above the law is if there is some mind to create and define that law.
I disagree.
Okay, how do you have a moral law without a mind?
Go ahead.
I just want to, I'm Jewish, and my rabbi will tell me that there are not moral absolutes. So
You bet.
my rabbi tells me that.
Well,
so.
you bet. And lots of Protestant ministers say that morality is relative because they don't believe there's a supernatural God, and many of them are my friends. I'm totally aware. But at least they're consistent intellectually, as opposed to you.
No, my
At
rabbi
least they're
believes in
saying
God.
all I'm
I
there is no
believe in
supernatural God, and therefore morality is relative. Fine, that's intellectually consistent.
I'm just saying it's possible to form a system of morals without a supernatural being.
Well, of course, a system of morals, of course.
Well,
But
I
you've
mean,
got to
like,
acknowledge that system of morals is relative,
This is fun.
right?
I mean, outside of the big ones, like it is possible to say murder is wrong without needing God to tell you it is.
Well, of course I can say, buddy, to murder him is wrong.
So wait,
But if I look him
hold
in the
on.
face and say,
If
murder
my-
is absolutely wrong, who defines the absolute?
It's not absolutely
culture,
wrong, though.
individual, the people in power, well then it's relative. But if there is a God who creates him with innate value, and he creates this intangible value called justice, then it's possible that for him to murder him is absolutely, not relatively, but absolutely wrong. You cannot have a moral absolute without there being some type of God. Meaning by that, some type of mind prior to the human mind that defines right and wrong.
Murder isn't absolutely wrong, though.
Say it a little louder.
Murder is not absolutely wrong.
Thank you. That's consistent from where he's coming from. Because there is no God, murder is not absolutely wrong. You're right.
No, I'm talking from the Talmud, the Torahtical laws. Like, these are, like, Jewish things we hold important. Are you saying that Jews don't believe in God, or... Because I would disagree with you.
Obviously, the majority of Jews believe in God. But I've got a lot of Reformed Jewish friends who do not believe in God. Obviously, there are many Jews who are atheists. And that's fine. That's their choice.
Are you calling me an atheist?
No, I'm not calling you anything.
Because I'm not.
You asked me, what do Jews believe? And I'm telling you, Jews believe there is a God. Many do. And many other Jews, many of my friends who are Reformed Jews, believe there's no God. I don't know what you believe. What do you believe?
I believe there's a God, but I don't believe in moral absolutes.
Okay, why don't you believe in moral absolutes?
Because it's situational, you know, like...
Okay.
Like a Christian friend of mine would say that abortion is absolutely wrong no matter what, but if it's threatening the life of the mother, it's not wrong.
Good.
That's not a moral absolute. Or if someone is trying to hurt another Jew, I'm allowed to do all I can, including murder that person, to stop them from doing it.
Oh, all right, then we got to start clarifying a little bit. If I go up to this guy, take out a knife and stab him to death, why? Because I think that guys with yellow wristbands should be murdered. That's murder. But if he and I walk into McDonald's and this guy is spraying machine gun bullets into children's bodies, and if I hit the guy high and he hits him low and we break his neck in the process and kill him, sir, that is not murder. That is killing motivated by a drive to preserve the innocent from being slaughtered. When Dietrich Bonhoeffer tried to assassinate Adolf Hitler, that was not murder. That was due to his drive to protect the innocent Jewish people from being slaughtered. He tried to stop Hitler physically. That's killing. There is an ethical difference. And you're right, it gets gray. I agree with you. But I can promise you, sir, child abuse, slaughtering innocent children is never good. The rape of a woman is never good. Those are examples of moral absolutes. The Holocaust is never good. It's absolutely evil. Racism, be it apartheid, be it racism in the United States, as shown in slavery, is never, ever good. Those are moral absolutes.
I agree.
Okay, well, guess what? The only way there can be a moral absolute is if there is some type of God to create and define those moral absolutes. Otherwise, it's all relative. Does that make no sense?
Well, I don't know, sure, but I have a lot of atheist friends, and some of them are more moral than I am,
Sure.
so...
Sure, all of my atheist friends are wonderful people. They're all idealists and altruists. All of my atheist friends are wonderful people. I don't have one rotten atheist friend, okay? But they're in a real bind intellectually when they hold to these morals so adamantly, but deny God's existence. Because one of the greatest pieces of evidence that God exists are moral absolutes that every single one of us holds to. See, it's impossible to live out moral relativism. Think about it. It is impossible to consistently live out moral relativism. Why? Think about whatever it is you believe about racism, the Holocaust, abortion, homosexuality. All right, think about your position. Now, whatever your position is, and I obviously don't know, but whatever it is, if you're a moral relativist, you have to agree that the opposite of what you believe is just as valid.